Now, what's impressive about you is that you can only do a male, but you do a female voice.
I can range in everything from the Rat Pack to Cher to Guns N' Roses. Pretty special.
Yeah, you're humming.
You're tuned in to JJLN Radio, High Frequency Broadcasting. It's 6 o'clock.
Welcome to Worldwide Entertainment and Crossing Over with Mike Kirby.
On today's program, we have Larry Jones, the #1 superstar voice from the Royal Resort at 99 Convention Drive in Las Vegas. Also performing with him on stage is Brian Hoffman, who is a Red Skeleton impersonator. We have Mark Kellogg, the only human on the face of the planet who can sound like a flute without a flute in his mouth. He's also known as the human flute master. Now, Larry, this is one of his DVDs, The Man of 1,002 Voices. As you can see, he does sell this at his show. He performs here in Las Vegas. He is a headliner. He's been here many, many years. And folks, I would highly recommend to go to his show. He is one of the top voices you can ever imagine, impersonators you'll ever see. It's well worth going. Larry, I want to thank you for being on the program here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Now, Larry, why don't you tell the folks more exactly what do you do on your show?
Well, I'm an impressionist. I'm a singing impressionist primarily. I do imitations of the greatest singers, celebrities, presidents from the last 60 years. I can range in everything from the Rat Pack to Cher to Guns N' Roses.
Now, what's impressive about you is that you can not only do a male, but you can do a female voice and do it excellent, which is quite unusual. You know, the only time I can do a female voice is when you hit me in the nuts. Now I know we have a new president. Have you impersonated his voice at this time period? I know you do all these other presidents.
No, I have not done Barack yet. Yes.
Yeah, you probably won't need to do that. He may not be a president.
Yeah, you got to wait till they're funny.
You do Bush, I know that for sure.
Yeah, little George W. It's crazy.
Now, Larry, why don't you tell the folks you had cancer and you almost died. What year was that?
And day before New Year's Day in 1997, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer, stage 4 melanoma, and they gave me 6 to 12 months to live. And that was pretty much the next day, New Year's Day. I was diagnosed there, and I went through chemotherapy. I went through a major surgery that cut out all my lymph nodes on my left side, and I'm just a walking miracle.
Well, what the folks would probably like to know out there exactly, how did you cure yourself? I mean, did you take a lot of health vitamins? Did you fast? Did you work out? Did you do a lot of deep breathing? Like, even Flute Master, he's kind of late here right now, but he told me he was dying too from extreme asthma when he was a kid, and he started doing a lot of deep breathing. Before he knew it, he sounded like the flute. So,
oh yeah,
that also, he did
right.
Perfect.
Wow.
Did something like that happen to you, or what?
No, I did went through surgery and the chemotherapy, but I'd have to credit God for me being here today.
So you went through the whole chemo, wasn't that?
Certainly wasn't anything I did.
Yeah, didn't it make you feel sick when you took chemo?
Yes, made me very sick. I lost about 30 pounds or more, which I'm not a big guy anyway. So
right.
Yeah.
So did you do any praying or anything?
Did a lot of praying, absolutely.
I think that probably pulled you through. The praying, because I know you didn't go to a faith healer.
No, didn't go to a faith healer. I had people at church pray over me. I had all kinds of people praying for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a great thing to be here.
Now, what the folks would like to know, you're an impersonator. When you was very, very young as a child, did you always like to sing? Did you always like to impersonate?
I didn't really do impersonations per se, but I did like to sing. I love to sing along to the radio, and I didn't. I knew that I could sing songs that not everybody could sing. I could sing along the radio to songs like Journey, which is kind of high.
Right.
And everybody couldn't sing that, so I
Right.
kind of knew I had something. I never thought about using it for a living.
That's very difficult.
I thought maybe it'd be a good way to woo the girls, though.
Hey, why not? Why
Right.
not? I'm going to be doing my own show here. I guess I'll get them all myself. I'll leave you some left over. If you don't have them all, anyways. Now, I just had a person on my other show, Rich Natoli from the Hooders over there, I believe. And I asked him a question. I says, now, how do you master these voices? And then he told me that he listens. He listens to the tone, and that's how he does it. He doesn't watch like Jay Leno or Bush, but he listens to the tone of the voice, and this is how he can imitate these people. Now, is that how you do it, or how you do it?
Yeah, it's done with the ears. Singing, doing voices. It's really a ear training. Of course, before you ever sing a note, you got to hear it in your head first.
Of course.
And that's the only way you know if you're off or not, is because you already heard it. You know if you're singing the same thing that you're hearing in your head.
Right. Because what the folks don't understand, I'm also a professional medium psychic, because this also is a crossing over. And I always need the first name and the present age, and I can just access it real quickly, or the tone of the voice. And once I get that, I can go into it and tell everything about the person. So that's like an impersonator too, in that department. So most of the time I'm kind of nuts all day long anyway. So
Right.
now, what happens to you when you imitate all these different voices? Do you, after a while, do you sound like by Larry Jones or President Bush or who?
Sometimes I listen to tapes of myself, or
To get back to normal?
look back at the show, and I'll look at myself or hear myself and go, "Is that really me?"
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird to hear yourself sounding like
Right,
other
right.
people, and it actually sounding like them instead of what you sound like. So it's kind of bizarre. It's kind of
Right.
I don't know. I wouldn't call it out of body experience, but it's interesting.
Well, when you're a performer, normally a performer wants to go as far as they can, see how far they can go. They test themselves. And when you know you're top line, you are top of the line out there. When Danny Gaines was here, I always thought he was better than Danny Gaines. I heard Danny Gaines. Now, I guess Danny Gaines must have had too much drugs or something, because he passed out early. That's the story I got.
Yeah, he died suddenly. This June, I think it's June.
Right,
At
right.
the beginning of June, and it was. It turns out that I was talking with some people from that know him, and apparently he had a blood disease.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had a blood disease, and he was taking medications for that. He was in a lot of chronic pain,
Oh, wow.
and
Let me ask you this.
they kind of watched him decline.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're sick, and you're a performer, and you got to imitate these voices, isn't it really difficult for you? I mean, all you're thinking about is the pain, and you got to avoid that pain, and you got to imitate this person.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially if you have a cold or something, and sinuses. I get sinuses out here sometimes, and it's really difficult to maintain that. If you get a cold and you sometimes it's even hard to talk. Your voice can get scratchy, and then if you're trying to can't even sound like yourself more or less anybody else. It's very difficult to.
Now, see what gets me, because I'm going to be doing my show every week, only once a week. You're performing like 4 days out of the 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happens if you get sick?